London, England is set. The O2 Arena is packed. Just don't look behind that Titantron, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to What's Up Wrestling Summerslam. We are starting things off here with a tag team matchup that is, well, to me, Spice is not going to be too happy coming out here, taking on the PTC. They have not been doing good against either member, including last week. We saw that 2 out of 3 falls tables match. It's basically supposed to be a way for Spice to kick back and just some carnage. And her own evil girl, Cindy Sullivan, was thrown through 2 tables by Elaine. So you think the BDSM is going to try to come after an elf next? I would not be surprised with that. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, pay-per-view time. So of course we have Ryan joined by JoJo. Hey, what's it say on Catalina's match? Not to stay there, JoJo. I'm sure you've said it before. I'm sure I have. I don't need to repeat it. These are the beautifully demonic, satanic monsters. Team formulated following who is Money in the Bank. 2 out of 3 falls submission matchup. Wasn't Money in the Bank, you idiot. No, I suppose not. I believe it was Clash of Champions. Clash of Champions for WrestleMania. That 2 out of 3 falls submission matchup. Catalina lost. And basically, well, subjected herself to Spice. This offshoot tag team of the Evil Girls. Here they are set to take on the former tag team champions, the PTC, the page-turning centerfolds. This should be a fairly interesting match. Fairly interesting and adult. Oh, just interesting there, JoJo. These are former adult entertainers turned wrestlers, and Paige has done one hell of a job getting them to that point. They're all former tag team champions, as I said. Maloney, the 2022 Queen, the 2022 Miss Money in the Bank. So here we go. Starting off with Catalina and Harper. Catalina starting things off with a side headlock right into an armbar. Taking Harper down. I don't think that was an armbar. Well, whatever it was. Barring the arm. How is it you're the play-by-play commentator? Shut up, JoJo. I tried my best here. Damn near knocked her boob out. Yes, I'm sure you would enjoy that. Now, Harper taking her time, holding Catalina in the corner. Harper coming in between them. And right back at it. Catalina taking out the leg. Of course, also joined by Whiskers, Sergeant Whiskers. And Sarge, anything you had to say about this? Good contribution there, Whiskers. Good contribution as always. Stop talking to that damn cat. PTC getting in a double team assault, but Catalina fighting back. The BDSM is through losing. They're all about trying for a victory now. Well, obviously, not just lying down taking a pinfall. True, but the PTC wanted to get right back up to the tag team titles. Especially as we know that they are now being defended again. Very nice. Krystal Blake taking Catalina for a spin, tosses her right back at Spice. Krystal can be up the assault. A little double shot there. Now here's the cover. Just pinning her the wrong way, you know. Not enough leverage. That's how you gotta do it. And Catalina DDT spiking Krystal's head into the canvas. And looks like she's coming around. Quick tag to Spice. Spice gonna pick right up where Catalina left off. With the first submission hold of the matchup. Bow and arrow lock. But Krystal managing to roll through, gets to her feet. And tags in Harper once more. Harper coming in, Spice waiting. And the bunny girl takes a shot to the face. Is that a little different than other shots that she may have taken? I think you were referring to Krystal Blake. Well, Krystal is the former adult film star. Harper, the former dancer and centerfold model. As Spice's face planted into the canvas. And it was Paige who brought them in. Paige who trained them. And now Harper taking Spice for the ride. Utilizing the momentum there to sling Spice straight across the ring. And devastating fist drop right to the face. And Harper squaring up Spice, kicks in the gut. And dropping suplex. This one could be it. Catalina not even trying. And as a result, the PTC gained themselves an early victory here. Don't know why Catalina did not get herself involved. I think Spice was perhaps even waiting. Wait, we're brought to you by KFC. I suppose we are there, Jojo. That's a good eye. Good eye. You see that fist drop nailing down Spice, bouncing her off the canvas, and then the dropping suplex. The combination is what got the win here, and we'll see it again. Catalina did not even attempt to break it up. Yes, she looked traumatized. Well, looking traumatized and stepping in there are two different things. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. SummerSlam kicking off with a huge bang. PTC victorious over BDSM once again. This one has personal written all over it. Roxie Stevenson her way out to the ring, followed by her bodyguard, or sorts, Nia Jax. A bit confusing, as Nia was the one who cost her the Queen of the Ring quarterfinal against Etsuko. And she's a ghost. Did you see how she disappeared? Oh, there she is. She's not even moving the things there. How the hell is that possible? Well, anything is possible here in What's Up Wrestling, especially considering that this is a VixXxen matchup. Roxie's to go one-on-one with Krystal Weisz. Now, just last week, Roxie and Krystal did go one-on-one in a preview matchup, and that one was won by Krystal Weisz. Following a series of kicks, the whole matchup was just basically a giant kick fest. Now Roxie will be having Nia in her corner, and Krystal will have Bayley. Roxie and Bayley, former friends, members of the New Trinity. As Bayley was something of a manager to that group. Krystal Weisz, the 2023 VixXxen Royal Rumble winner, went on to WrestleMania facing off against Etsuko in a very impressive encounter. Unfortunately, it was not her night, as it were. Krystal may be hitching her way towards a championship, and another victory over Roxie will certainly cement that. Roxie, a former VixXxen champion in her own right. So your question earlier as well about those wings, whether they were helping out, whether they were good for giving her something to land on. I think that's the case there, Weasel. So you think that Krystal is cheating in her matches? Yes, yeah, I do. That's why we haven't seen too much of her. Roxie going for the legs, knowing that that is Krystal's strong point. And suplex felt all throughout Krystal's body and just now kicking her. He said last week it was a battle of kicks. A match in which Krystal won, and Roxie just going to try and put things away quickly here. Krystal sent far from the corner, and Roxie again not letting up. Well, she shouldn't. Roxie deserves victory here. I understand that she wouldn't really take your praise as a good thing. That's all right. Roxie knows that I'm on her side. Trying again with the suplex. Small package. Referee down for the count, and just a 1 count. Well, Krystal finally getting some momentum of her own. A suplex right on the knees. Heavy kicks to the face. Oh, you can't do that. That's how she infuses the catnip. Leave the arms alone. And Krystal is free to attack whatever she wants. And trying for a Hurricane Rana, but Roxie unable to get in there. And Nia Jax causing an interruption. Taunting Krystal from the outside. And Krystal trying to go right back to her. See, that's why she's going to lose. Because she's an idiot. Nia wasn't even attempting to talk to her that second time. Krystal just watched the fight. And Roxie with a devastating back jump kick. Ah, here we go. Here we go, Weasel. She's going to infuse the catnip. Infuse it. And no, she misses. And Krystal trying to make a show of it, and Roxie just rushes right through her. And Krystal going to take a momentary breather. Roxie trying to get back out there. Referee stopping her. So Roxie going to try it for the other side. Tosses her out. And this time, no referee to stop. Exactly. When the referee just won't let you do what you want, you got to find a different way. And Roxie off the apron. Diving Hurricane Rana. Krystal fighting back, uppercut beneath the jaw, right into the barricade, in the corner of the barricade. What the hell is this? Get in there, Nia. Referee up to 5. And fireman's carry with the knee hitting the steps. Roxie swiftly joining in. Don't know who got the worst of it out there. Well, I'm going to say Krystal. And Nia now officially up on the apron. And Roxie with a knee to the face. flinging Krystal back. The referee's going to have to do something about Naya eventually. Perhaps soon. Look at Bayley just standing there like an idiot. Krystal managing to get out of that leg or that head scissors lock. And actually with an inverted side Russian leg sweep, sorry. Heavy shots in the face, turns Krystal right around, right into a backdrop. And we're going back and forth all day. All matchup, I mean. All day, what the hell? All matchup, I mean, you know what I meant. And snap around, suplex. Roxie poised, ready, gonna try it again. Infuse the catnip, get it this time. And Cat Meow connects back of the head. This one could be it. And Bayley now up on the apron to cause the distraction. Roxie attempting a tough middle rope senton. Could not get it done. So managing to take Krystal down though. Bit surprised that Bayley would get involved, but as I said, she has issues with Roxie as well. Issues with Roxie's new persona. It's not a new persona, she's always been evil. Krystal taking out Roxie's leg, bringing the dancer down. Roxie firing back, forearm shots in the face, trying for a quick cat's meow. And Krystal gonna go straight across the ring here. And connects! Straight kick to the face. Those are heels. Those are heels, Weasel. What the hell is this? Here's the count. And not enough. Must be some soft heels. Krystal up on the middle rope. And comes right down. Misses with the elbow drop. Catching Roxie. And brainbuster right in the middle of the ring. In the corner goes Roxie and Krystal in there. That's choking. That's choking. That's just right against the sternum. I think that's fine there, JoJo. Another hard kick to the spine. This time courtesy of Krystal. And Krystal hitting the ropes. And scissors kick to the back of the head. But Roxie managing to fight back, perhaps out of instinct, going for a cover, try and clear her mind. So 2 count, and Roxie now focusing on the arm. Elbows to the shoulder. But Krystal with a jawbreaker, fighting back. And Krystal, no, not going for the ride. The hell is she staring at? Just kiss and make up. I don't think we'll ever see anything like that happen. And Roxie, don't turn around, right into the foot. There's another count, 2, and that does it. Krystal Weisz victorious once again. A hard-fought match between these two. But it is Krystal in the end. You see her dodging the first attempt and just dancing around. Roxie should have just given her another kick at that point. A little bit there, just a very brief recap of this match, just how it went back and forth. And it took a couple of hard kicks to the face for Krystal to come out victorious, but there we see it. Krystal rising up the ranks. What's Up Wrestling is brought to you by the Fighting Monkeys. Or are they being sponsored by us? Well, either way, the money is going somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. It's time now for our first triple threat matchup of the evening. This being the World Heavyweight Championship, being defended by the new champion, the man who won his title back at No Mercy, defeating Superstar in a surprising upset. How was it an upset? King Valentine deserved it. Superstar was just an idiot. He had no reason to put the title on the line, but he did. And he did, and he paid for it. And now his opportunity to regain it will be him, King Valentine, and Canuck. Canuck's claims to being a #1 contender are very, very sound. Well, it was Canuck who defeated King Valentine a number of times some months ago. Now that King Valentine is a champion, Canuck feels that he's owed a title shot. A bit of a war of words just following No Mercy between both Superstar and Canuck led to a matchup in which Superstar was victorious, but things did not end there, as just not long after we saw Superstar and Canuck attacking each other in the backstage area. And as I said at the time, King Valentine would have been watching that and enjoying it. Indeed he would. He's probably just going to sit back in this matchup and just let these two men destroy each other. And then when they're done, they'll just come in, boom, powerbomb, finish, winning. It's certainly a sound strategy, and would not surprise me in the least. The man who's declared himself #1 contender. Anyone's really going to stand up and question him, though. Not on that claim. Canuck could be walking out of here with his first ever title here in What's Up Wrestling. And what a first title it would be. World Heavyweight title. Definitely a small but very storied history. Only other champion, well, not really only other champion, but one of the first ever champion, Craig Stevens, former Universal Champion. Don't forget about Stan Stevens. Yes, Stan Stevens, former World Heavyweight Champion as well. Of course, we mustn't also forget Buddy, former World Champion as well, defeating Stan Stevens just a couple of weeks after he had won the title. But now Buddy also a Universal Champion who will be defending it later on tonight against Craig Stevens. So the World Heavyweight title is definitely the door opener, at least for two of its former champions. Can't really say too much about, or at least when it comes to Stan Stevens. Stan's just having a glorious championship reign. Not even a glorious career here in What's Up Wrestling. And there we see him, the World Heavyweight Champion. Indeed, glorious. The lights are shining brighter than usual here on the World Heavyweight Champion, King Valentine. Former tag team champion with partner Moose. It would have been the Giant champion as well had he entered that Land of Giants tournament, but that was just beneath him. I honestly think that Valentine just did not want to contend with anyone like the likes of Blithe Omega. Blithe Omega, Buddy, Canuck even. A lot of names there that King Valentine would definitely not want to be associated with, but here we are. He is associated with at least one of them in Canuck. Regardless, the man looks ready to go, ready to fight. Loving his new theme song as well. It's very fitting, you know. Very choir-esque. Indeed it is. He's not taking his time to get into the ring for this one. I think he understands that this could be the end of his world title reign. What are you talking about, Weasel? King Valentine is going to come out victorious. You just know it. I know it. Therefore, it's going to happen. I am the predictor of the World Heavyweight title. People laughed at me when I said Stan Stevens would walk out of WrestleMania World Heavyweight Champion. People questioned my sanity when I said King Valentine was going to walk out with the World Heavyweight title. And now here I am declaring it one more time. King Valentine, World Heavyweight Champion, going out with the belt as he came in. It's a strong claim, but you do have the history of getting those correct. Instead, this is a triple threat matchup. One fall to a finish. It's a bit different than the three-way dance we'll be having later on tonight for the Hellcat Championship, which will be an elimination triple threat matchup. And there we see Superstar going for King Valentine, Canuck going for Superstar, and just a couple of headbutts taking down both of his competitors. Like I told you, Weasel, King Valentine is World Heavyweight Champion to stay. Canuck is just going to watch them go at it, but watch out, Canuck. Valentine from behind there. Heavy chop across the hairy chest. And Valentine just dominant in this one. And another headbutt taking Superstar down. Superstar is definitely at a disadvantage here, but he's not going to stand down. He's going to keep fighting. Canuck managing to take down Superstar, just injuring himself in the process. And Valentine swiftly back up to his feet. Reverse DDT. Canuck rolls to the outside, and Superstar into the ropes, right into a big boot, courtesy of Valentine. Courtesy of the World Heavyweight Champion Valentine. Get it right. Well, Superstar certainly not shying away with his feelings for Valentine. Up on the top, or middle rope. And drop kick straight to the back, and Superstar even colliding himself down on Valentine, taking both men out with one shot. Come on, JoJo, you have to call that one as impressive. That is impressive. No matter what you got for Valentine, he's going to stand up to it, take it, and not be. No, then Valentine knocked over. Now Valentine rolls to the outside. I was going to say that Superstar was about to join him, but instead propels himself off the top rope with a drop kick. And Canuck. Superstar up on his shoulders and rams him down with a power slam. King Valentine now chooses his time to come back in. Sent to the little corner for his troubles. And no, this is not good. Choke toss from the top. Just a one count only. Canuck with a shoulder clock. Superstar is definitely not going to interrupt with that one. And up on the shoulders again goes Superstar. This time his head craning into the top turnbuckle. It's going to at least be 8 feet from the air. Canuck is a good 7 feet, sorry. Superstar being tossed around. Get up, Valentine. This is your time to shine. Remember, it's your title. Indeed, Canuck knows that it is Valentine's title. And that is why he is going for the man who just gives him a DDT. Valentine's celebrating. Maybe a bit too prematurely. Turn around, Valentine. You're not done. Superstar's getting back in. The Superstar just coming right at him. Valentine with a sharp punch. Trying to rush into him. And, oh, there's height for you right there. Valentine taking a breather on the outside. Of course he is. He's got to remain fresh. He's got to let these two beat each other up, take each other down, bludgeon each other with their fists. Again, Superstar not making any friends here. And again, shoulder block after shoulder block, taking Canuck down. But Superstar up on the top rope. Referee taken down. And double axe handle. And Valentine taking quick advantage there. Hefty power slam to Superstar. And this is it. Power Bomb City. And ram right into the turnbuckles. Goes Superstar. And Canuck still on the outside. Valentine going for a quick cover. Here we go. Here's the count. Will Valentine retain? And no, not quite yet. Somehow, some way, Superstar getting that shoulder up. Canuck trying for a suplex. And no, he can't. He can't do this. Not with Canuck. Not with Canuck. Oh my God! Right into the turnbuckles! Valentine tosses Canuck into the turnbuckles and now going for another cover, and Superstar makes a desperate dive, ending this one. And Superstar just enjoying the fun. Comes running in. No! There you go, Valentine. Valentine spotted Superstar, but he did not spot Canuck. Another running power slam. This time followed up by a pinfall. Will this be it? And Valentine getting out of there. But talk about the feat of strength to send Canuck flying with that power bomb. And Canuck knocking all that oxygen and tosses Valentine away. Kick to the gut. Backbreaker by Canuck to Superstar. Superstar fighting back. Shots to the side of the head. Tries for a scoop slam, but Canuck managing to get out of there. Get in there, Valentine. You're going to lose it. And this could be the moment. 2. Only a 2 count. And an epic triple threat matchup we have here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As King Valentine calling Canuck forward. And he's got him locked in. Bear hug. Bear hug. But a headbutt. And Canuck is busted open. Focus on it. Focus on it. Valentine indeed trying. And there we go. Valentine slamming Canuck's face straight to the canvas after a hefty kick to the gut. Valentine tried to get that boot up. Could not get it all the way up. And what is this? Starstruck. Starstruck to Valentine. And Canuck unable to get in there. A sudden Starstruck out of nowhere. And Superstar takes back the World Heavyweight Championship. Superstar wins back the title. Damn it, damn it, damn it. And perhaps better than that, JoJo is wrong in his prediction. Superstar with a sudden starstruck out of nowhere. He didn't see it, and certainly Valentine didn't see it. Sure, getting a lot of replays of pinfalls. Indeed, whoever's in charge of that. And there we see the sudden starstruck taking Valentine down. That gave Superstar back his championship. Superstar now a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion. Congrats are in order. Superstar has done it. I demand a rematch. I demand a rematch, Weasel. Well, you're not going to get it, JoJo. Superstar will go out World Heavyweight Champion just as King Valentine entered. I'm still pissed off from that last one. You just say something. Well, we have the $1 Million Champion, perhaps the most fighting champion here in What's Up Wrestling. Set to go on one-on-one in a special exhibition bout, non-title. Number guy has been on a quest to find himself a worthy opponent, someone whom can beat him and even retain the championship shortly after. Last time we saw a number guy attempt this was just a month ago at No Mercy in that fatal four-way. Unfortunately, not one of those competitors was able to walk out of there with a victory. And just a couple weeks ago, you saw this man, Stone Cold Steve Austin, former $1 Million Champion himself, come out. And the crowd just does not like him. Of course, he is not What's Up Wrestling. He is the other company that we shall not name, World Wrestling Entertainment. Yes, there you go. He just named it. But yes, coming out, attacking number guy, or at least trying to attack number guy from behind, could not get the job done. Number guy is locking in a sleeper hold from behind, a dragon sleeper. Another way. As we know, this is a non-title matchup. Charles Stone Cold is just a special guest competitor here in What's Up Wrestling. But still, this should be, well, starting off things with a show of good sportsmanship from number guy and Steve Austin. But it's going to end here. Indeed it will, and number guy going right for the corner, one of his own favorite maneuvers. Getting some assistance from the crowd here in London. I'm sure many of his hometown countrymen are here as well, here to cheer on their $1 Million Champion. Taking down Stone Cold and focusing on that injured knee. Steve Austin whipping number guy around and off the top turnbuckles of the snake eyes, and this time number guy does the whipping and comes falling right back, kick to the face. I think this one would have done a little better. I would have done a little build-up, you know. Well, there's only so much time during our What's Up Wrestling programs. And it's number guy with a stiff shot from behind. This crowd definitely behind the European sensation. So here's some. And there we go. This Dragon Sleeper that had Steve Austin tapping out just a couple weeks ago. But Austin managing to come out of there and stops down on the back of the shoulder. Little rib breaker there. Knock out the air of Number Guy, but does not keep him down for long. I think Number Guy would like hearing the 3 count rather than a submission hold. Well, that's how we've had Number Guy victorious on a number of occasions in the past. Though he has taken to more submission style in recent weeks. And it is certainly welcome. Some street fights from Number Guy, just strike after strike. And side Russian leg sweep down on the outside mats. Alright, attempting to roll away there, but was caught by Austin, who drops his knee into the mats once more. Another rib breaker. Referee halfway, now up to 6. And Number Guy attempted to attack from behind. Luthez pressed, piston-like fury. And I think I see some blood on the face of Number Guy. You know that all that does is just irate him even further. But this may be the beginning of the end. And stunner on Number Guy. I give him like a 2.5 stars on his taking it. But Number Guy kicks out, and Stone Cold cannot believe it. The Number Guy into the corner. Austin setting him up in the tree of woe. Now going to choke him out. But Number Guy knee to the jaw. Number Guy is not down. He is not out. Trying for another submission, I imagine. Trying for his ankle lock. Could not get it in. Austin managing to get out of there. And now again with a Luthez press. Nailing down the shots to Number Guy's head. And that could be the end of it. I was going to say all those blows to the head. But Number Guy kicking out. But still down. Still out. And Austin poised to strike. Kick to the gut. And another stunner. And this time Number Guy, middle of the ring. This one could be it. 2. But no, again, Number Guy kicks out. And Austin is furious. Come on, Number Guy. Show him what Western Wrestling's all about. And Number Guy. Number of kicks to the back of the knee. Going for a cover. Just a calming cover, just to regain his bearings. A guy with a never say die attitude, and I think that's why the fans love him. Aside from being a fighting champion, he is not one to take down easily. Whips into the far corner. Number Guy just stalking him, following up. And here we go again. Austin rebounded from the corner. And down goes the knee. Trying with a kick. And I think, yes, Austin is bleeding as well. And a hefty shot. There's a lot of momentum behind that shot. I think Number Guy just threw everything he had in that one. Which is a bad sign. Indeed, it's a bad sign. It just means that Number Guy is going to be down. Will drop in a nice stomp, and now a knee to the side of the head. That brace perhaps being utilized as a weapon. It was with the other knee. Indeed, apologies there. Now just putting on the pressure. I think one more stunner and Number Guy may be out for good. Number Guy again fighting back. Bringing Austin around, snapmare. Trying with a headbutt, but Austin. And kick to the gut, trying for another stunner. Number Guy shoves him forward. And in comes Number Guy, knee to the face. And Number Guy just taking himself a moment to calm down. What the hell is Number Guy doing now? Number Guy poised. Set to strike, Dragon Sleeper locked in. Number Guy rolls over, Austin flailing, Austin fighting it, and once more manages to get out. Stops across the back, Number Guy steadily to his feet, turns right into her, no, reverse DDT. Now with the cover, will Number Guy do it? No, not quite, just a 2 count. Here's some Austin chants once more. Some fans still believe in him, even in this environment. Austin again hitting the ropes and bionic elbow to the sternum. Is that going to be it? Not quite. Number Guy again kicks out. That's right, Number Guy. Up you go. And down you go. And Austin with a 3rd stunner. That's gotta be it. Here's the count. 2. No! Number Guy again kicks out. And Austin arguing with the referee on that one. What will it take to put Number Guy away? It's gonna take a 4th stunner. Austin is certainly just building his way up to that. With Number Guy putting in the fight. And now again, giving himself some extra moment to calm down. Some extra time to get a good breather going. Once again, poking his head out. And Number Guy with a fireman's carry, taking Austin down. In the corner, narrowly hitting the referee. And once again, just the one time. Number Guy with a side Russian leg sweep. Early Number Guy, you think you're going to win with that? Little stranger things have happened here in What's Up Wrestling. After all, Door Killer retained the Universal Championship, or won it, against Bobo by just kicking him in the face and putting him down for a solid 10 count. And Number Guy again, Dragon Sleeper, it's locked in. Middle of the ring, and this time Austin taps. Number Guy victorious here, but I think he's been put through hell. One hell of a match, one hell of a challenge to Number Guy. But Number Guy again faces up to it and comes up victorious. There you see it, at least 3 stunners trying to put Number Guy away. Not a one of them could do it. No, it was just the start of the match. That's how it began. And it just went on to a full-on brutal exchange between both men. but it is number guy victorious. Proving his fighting capabilities here. Who will finally dethrone number guy in a manner that suits him best? Well, we have one half of the tag team champions making his way to the ring. He'll be joined by his partner in this six-man tag team matchup of the Fortunate Sons to take on the Four Horsemen. What the hell was with that pause? Well, I was just pausing because for dramatic effect. We know who they're facing. We have been facing them all this time. Suppose they have. You've been calling the damn matches. Well, yes they have, and thus far the Fortunate Sons are just 1-2 against these three representatives of the Four Horsemen. And we see the other half of the tag team champions. And alongside Hype defeated the Heroes for Hire back at No Mercy. Prior to Four Horsemen's interruption, Door Killer, of course, making a beeline out of the ring, leaving Hype to take on both Shane Evans and Greg Bunny Faith. Of course, Greg would take on Hype later on, victorious, as Shane Evans would defeat Violence John. But in that special lumberjack match, Door Killer managing to defeat Johnny Wisdom. You gotta know that's gotta have gone right to his ego. No arguments, JoJo? No, that's pretty much right. I mean, who would have expected that it wouldn't be Door Killer to come out victorious, the only one of these Fortunate Sons victorious against the Four Horsemen? Making his way now to the ring. Fubar champion successfully retained that one back at No Mercy in that Hell in a Cell feud ender with Disgruntled Clown. Now once again being pulled back into Fortunate Son politics. I think he'd much rather be fighting some other individuals in Fubar contests. May hopefully see that coming just a few weeks' time, ladies and gentlemen, at the Friday the 13th event. See Greg Bunny Faith making his way to the ring through the crowd. Hype was still in the ring. Makes sense given the history between, at least the short-term history between those two individuals. Sure, Hype will have another opportunity to get back into the ring with that man, and he will get it soon. Awaiting the arrival of Shane Evans. There he is coming in from the other side. The other side, it looks like he's coming in from the same side. Oh, whatever it is, Violence John certainly eyeing this man. One hell of a hardcore matchup just a few weeks ago between Shane Evans and Violence John. A situation in which Shane Evans was ultimately victorious. Could we see Shane Evans challenging for the Foo Bar Championship at some point in time? The final member, or at least the final member that we know about, we're still anxiously awaiting the arrival of the fourth member of the Four Horsemen. Four Horsemen, but we only really see three. It's Johnny Wisdom, the only horseman to have taken a loss against the Fortunate Sons. Certainly here to gain some retribution on that account. Tonight be his night. Of course, it's not going to be his night. It's all for the Fortunate Sons. Gentlemen, this one could explode at any moment. This is supposed to be a tag team matchup, and no one is getting out on the apron, and the referee is just saying, to hell with it, just let him go. It's another heavy brawl here between the Fortunate Sons and the Four Horsemen. You see Violence John focusing in on Johnny Wisdom, Door Killer, and Greg Buddy Faith and Hype getting DDT'd by Shane Evans. As far as Hype, the only one who's not had much luck here in the Fortunate Son department. The referee is going to have one hell of a time taking care of this one. A nice power bomb by Hype to Shane Evans. As the Horsemen now steadily taking control at all fronts. Hype doing what he can to fight back, but Greg taking a couple shots there to Door Killer, and DDT from Johnny Wisdom to Violence John, sending Violence John to the outside. It is now left on a 3-on-2 situation, and Four Horsemen are going to take advantage of that one. And off the rope. Rebound splash. And now Greg rolling to the outside. And the tides are turning. It's the Fortunate Sons' time to get it done. Johnny Wisdom trying for a top rope maneuver, but Violence John had him scouted. Shane Evans still taking out Hype as Door Killer slowly gets to his feet, and Greg kicking him to the side. And speaking of kicking, Violence John kicking out Johnny Wisdom's leg. Heavy shot by Hype, and Hype taking Shane up and slamming him back down. And Johnny Wisdom getting a measure of revenge, interrupting Violence John. Oh no! Johnny Wisdom attempting a Hurricane Rana. Couldn't even get a tight hold of the grasp. Or at least Violence John just holding himself steady. And one by one, the Horsemen are being sent out of the ring. And this is where Violence John is king. So we're all going to go on the outside. The referee just letting him go. Of course, the referee's going to let him go. It makes his job easier. Now he just has to focus on two idiots. We have Shane Evans and Hype still fighting it out. Violence John throwing Johnny Wisdom into the steel steps, and Greg Buddy Faith with a hefty clothesline taking Door Killer down. Looks like Violence John may just come in to aid his brothers, but no! Oh my God! Oh my God! Destroyer elbow! The distance! The height! Johnny Wisdom still managing to fight back, sending Violence John into the steps. That destroyer elbow may have done more damage to Violence John than anything. And pop-up powerbomb from Greg Faith to Door Killer. Here's the cover. And almost a 3 count. Violence John sent running. So that Shane Evans might be challenging at some point for the FUBAR Championship. But here's Johnny Wisdom putting in his 2 cents as Shane Evans rolls to the outside. And Hype comes in to assist his tag partner and fellow tag champion. Hype taking out Greg's knee and Johnny Wisdom. And Johnny Wisdom comes jumping right in, but I don't think he knows what he's come jumping into. A 3-on-1 situation, but Shane Evans going to come in. Not exactly even the score, but make him a little better. And across the ring goes Wisdom and Door Killer coming in. Gutbuster from Shane Evans, Greg Bunny Faith coming back in here, and Violence John ascending to the top. And what the hell was that? Violence John, instead of going for Wisdom, lands on top of Hype. You know, Violence John just sick and tired of the politics that his brothers pull him into. Isn't this how he takes it out on them? And there's Door Killer with a cover over Shane Evans. Door Killer is poised, ready, but Shane Evans fights back as Violence John lays on the outside. And Johnny Wisdom feet on the ropes. Only a 2 count and double gutbuster to the Door Killer. Now it's Door Killer, the tag team champions. Door Killer and the Hype at the mercy of the 4 Horsemen. But in comes Violence John as Hype counters back out of the Hurricane Rana with a power bomb up on the shoulders and down to the knee as Shane Evans hops off the top. Straight shot to Door Killer's head. And curb stomp. Here's a double pinfall. And Door Killer taken down. But instead, Shane Evans going to cover Hype, and Violence John doesn't even realize it. What an unfortunate situation that would be if Violence John was unable to stop the pinfall. Honestly, I don't think he would care. He's a man who would splash his own brother. Indeed he is. Hard shot, side of the head. Reverse DDT, and Violence John rolls to the outside. As once again, it's a 3-on-2 situation, but Door Killer able to respond to it, and Hype shoving Johnny Wisdom away, but in comes Greg Bunny Faith with a snapmare and a powerbomb down on top of Hype's legs. But Door Killer managing to fight back. Hype taking down Greg and a hefty shot to the head. Backdrop, and Shane Evans coming in to assist his partner as it is a 3-on-1, and Violence John steadily gets into the ring, eventually does. Going right after Johnny Wisdom, slow backdrop, and now going right for no. Wisdom taking down Violence John. Now Evans had a toe hold locked in, and package powerbomb there by Greg Faith. There's door killer in. Here's the cover. Hype fighting back, but that is it. Pinfall victory here for the Horsemen. And what do you think the reason was? Well, I think it was just the fact that the Fortunate Sons just were not acting as a unit. You saw more double team maneuvers from the Horsemen. I think they came more to win than, while the Fortunate Sons just came to try and outdo the other. Valence John eventually getting tired of that, taking out his frustrations on his own brother. What kind of situation is that all about, ladies and gentlemen?
Horsemen Wrestling is brought to you by Snacky S'mores. Eat Snacky S'mores.
Well, finally, it's been since WrestleMania that these titles have been on the line. Clash of Champions. Riley Everett winning that Battle Royale to make it so that she can even become #1 contender with her partner Ida Etsuko as the Glow Girls. Ever since then, however, Kitty and Stephanie have been throwing barricade after barricade in front of these two, putting them both in the Money in the Bank matchup, hoping that that would just separate the two due to some sort of personal strife, personal greed, however you want to put it. And just setting up defense after defense for Ida Etsuko. Eventually, too much for her. Ida Etsuko losing at No Mercy. Ultimately going a bit savage overboard, as some would say, on Busty Buffy St.Claire just a few weeks ago, delivering the Mitzusaka bunny hop down on top of Busty's face. As such, Kitty simply made it clear that she wishes for Queen Amazonia to serve as a ringside enforcer to keep things safe. For the last 2 episodes, Ida Etsuko had been banished from the arena, and rightfully so. I mean, talk about sore loser. Ida Etsuko loses her match through a championship, nearly lasting a year with it. That's impressive enough, but you don't go taking it out on some other opponent. Her day will come as the women's champion one more time, perhaps. This year so far not as good for Ida as her last year was. Thus far, her biggest claim to fame being defeating AJ Smith in that special Clash of Champions matchup. And here comes the enforcer. Riley knows her all too well. Just last week, she was set up in a match with Queen Amazonia, and Amazonia even assaulted her just post-match. And she doesn't even have a Twitter. What's up with that? I don't know. Can you call it Twitter anymore these days? Anyway, Queen Amazonia doing her continued damage on Riley following the matchup. So basically what you're saying is we have the council to take on a crippled individual and an emotionally unstable one. So, in a way, We can say that the council are true heroes, giving these two idiots an opportunity. They are the remaining members of the council. Pointed out time and again how Kitty pulled some form of blackmail on Stephanie, managing to keep hold of the council together. And speculations are high that Kitty is the actual general manager, and the man made more of a figurehead. While Kitty has been the one making the addresses, has been the one making the decisions. And in fact, we have not seen Stephanie in a competitive landscape since WrestleMania. Last week was the first time we've seen her since then. But regardless of that, we have the tag team titles on the line. Riley Evers set to start things off. And what the hell is this? The council pulling one over those idiot Glow girls. They're the ones who sign the matches. They're the ones who choose the opponents. Queen Amazonia is supposed to be at ringside as an enforcer, and Riley is doing everything she can to take down Amazonia, and finally does so, but Amazonia just quickly gets back up. But what the hell is this? Amazonia again is supposed to be at ringside. At least that's what we heard from Kitty. Well, she'll be at ringside soon enough. Yeah, if either Stephanie or Kitty deem themselves willing enough to tag in. Riley getting a measure of revenge from last week on Amazonia, showing no fear, quickly tags out to Ida. See how Ida is doing in an emotional state and see how she does against Amazonia. But no, she's not going to fight her. She quickly tags back out to Riley. Perhaps the smartest thing Ida could have ever done. Riley into the far corner, fighting her way back out. Trying again to take down Amazonia, but Amazonia getting hold of her. Slams her back into the corner. And Riley again fighting back, up on the shoulders. Spins around, Hurricane Rana. And Stephanie was actually requesting a tag there, but I think that was just more for show than anything. She's all the happier having Amazonia do as much damage, or really just take damage at this point. Now quick tag out to Ida Etsuko. And I suppose we can call it some kind of technicality if Queen Amazonia is the one pinned and not either Kitty or Stephanie. And Kitty taking down both Ida and Riley. Riley heading it to the outside, and Ida finally getting a hold of Kitty and just sent it to the outside. And Ida not backing down. She's gonna wish she did. Now both Stephanie and Queen Amazonia to deal with, and of course a countout would certainly fare well for the champions. There you go, Amazonia is now doing her ringside enforcer job. I was thinking that she would just kind of stand to the outside and watch. Count up to 7. And Ida's face first into the ring post. And finally at 8, Kitty deems it necessary to throw Ida back into the ring. Surprised that she didn't just keep her out there, and now going right for her Boston Crab. Managing to get out of there. Now going to try to referee in the way. Oh, now you're going to call it a conspiracy. The referee is in on it. And the referee purposefully kept Ida from getting to her partner. That the referee purposefully slowed down the count to allow Kitty to get that special assault. That the referee purposefully allowed Queen Amazonia to attack Riley or Ida on the outside. Well, when you put all those together, And Riley coming back. Just remember that last year at SummerSlam, it was Riley versus Kitty. And, well, how long was that matchup? It was long enough to know that Kitty was a true competitor. True competitor in the sense that she got beaten in less than a minute. Surprised you're not going to call Riley on missing that one. Of course, I'm going to call it. Overshot it. That's what happens when you take on the council. You fail, and you fail hard. The first time Kitty has been in a ring, an active competitor inside the ring against since WrestleMania, just like Stephanie McMahon. And they haven't lost a beat, have they? And Kitty now with a cover over Riley. 2 count only, though. He has to see Stephanie get herself involved, aside from assault on the outside. And Riley sent back into the corner. And finally, we see Stephanie becoming legal here. And down goes Riley. And Stephanie with a quick cover. Oh, and now you're going to say, oh boy, the referee sure got down to count pretty fast. Riley fighting back, Ida getting to her feet, and leg lock DDT from Riley. Riley taking a bow. The referee watching it. Queen Amazonia just flings herself across the ring and just tosses Riley over the ropes. Riley coming back in, managing to save herself from being tossed straight to the outside. With the speed in which Amazonia was in there, it's almost like she had known the cover was coming. And missile drop kick from Ida. Bit of miscommunication there between Ida and Riley. Riley hopping to the outside. Has yet to come back up. There we're seeing is the end of the Glow Girls. But Riley now coming in, accepting the tag, but takes a shot and up into the torture rack. And this can't be it. And Riley managing to fight back, comes straight through, and Amazonia just takes the clothesline. And all that weight coming crashing down on Riley's chest. And again, Amazonia needs to be outside the ring. Do you see the referee sending her away? Suppose not, but still, Ida Etsuko now inside the ring. Don't bunny hop her head. Ida thrown back into the council's corner. Now tag to Stephanie. For the sign of double team. Would you consider Queen Amazonia still a member of the council? They certainly seem to utilize her capabilities quite a bit. And Amazonia is more than happy to assist. And Stephanie McMahon misses that. And Ida Etsuko going to take the advantage here. How dare you say that about our general manager? She slipped. Suppose that Riley slipped as well earlier. No, that was just Riley's inability. All right, good. Just a splash. I was going to say, if you were going to try to bunny hop her head. What a showing of power if the Glow Girls were victorious here, despite the council stacking the deck clearly in their favor. A kick to the back, and kick to the front, and here we go. The Ida hip rush. Quick cover. This could be it. New tag team champion. No, of course not. You're not going to take down Stephanie McMahon that hard. And Ida sent to the corner, but fighting back just as Riley did. With a quick elbow and spine buster. And Stephanie going for the cover. In comes Riley. And DDT to Riley, but Ida kicking out. And Queen Amazonia, just like last week, not quite done with the assault. And the referee just watching it. Refusing to admonish, and Ida's going to take her out herself. Hey, she was on the apron. And Ida not quite finished with Amazonia, and Riley there to join her. That's just unfair. That's against the rules. Armbreaker from Ida. And Stephanie with the fireman's carry, though. See, Amazonia back up on the apron. And Stephanie sent up over the top rope, but not quite out. Stephanie managing to fight back. Another whip into the corner. Quick tag to Kitty. And again, looks like they're going for their backbreaker. And connects. Kitty going for the cover. In comes Riley to try and make the save. And Riley not going to let herself get taken down this time. Jawbreaker to Kitty. Both Kitty and Ida are down. But it's Kitty first to her, getting to her feet. It's the Council's way. The Council is strong, powerful, longest reigning tag team champions. Longest reigning tag team champions, because this is the first time they've defended it in 6 months. Ida snapping back on Kitty's arm. She needs that to sign her forms. Do you not like your paychecks? Ida now kicking out the back. Surprised that Kitty still wears that 0-5 with some sort of pride. It's to show that Stephanie is perhaps the best, and to counter any beliefs that Stephanie is just a figurehead. How dare you call her a figurehead? Just a state of belief that the fans have. It is indeed Kitty who is calling all the shots, but I don't think she can call any shots now. And Kitty to her knees and another hip rush attack. And in comes Amazonia and Riley. But Kitty managing to kick out. And Queen Amazonia getting it from behind by Riley. No, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Ida up on the top. Mitzusaka bunny hop. Not on them. Down between the legs. What is that? Down on the crotch. And Riley, with enough steam, takes down Queen Amazonia. Well, she didn't hit the face with the bunny hop. No, she went lower. And Kitty still down and out. Anita giving Amazonia some space, but knows that she's got to leave. Let her tag out. Ida leg locked in, but Kitty managing to roll out. Gonna keep the fight. The only reason that this match is still going on is because we haven't seen the pedigree or the bitchmaker. We've seen plenty of hip attacks, and we've seen the bunny hop. Well, we haven't seen any Mount Everett's either. And Amazonia sent over the top. And Ida with this flurry of kicks and one final kick. And a pinfall right in front of Amazonia, who manages to make a save. Now Amazonia sent to the ropes, and Riley gonna keep fighting alongside her partner, sending Kitty to the apron as well. And Ida just knocks her down. There you go. Stephanie's taking Ida down. Now Ida fighting back both members of the council. If after all this, it winds up with a count out. But Ida keeping the fight, not letting the council get the better of her. 3 up to 5, and Kitty with a suplex. The ring at 7 now, and quick tag to Riley. And in comes Riley with a hefty kick to the face, and a Kitty ducking the clothesline, but misses. But Riley gets that clothesline. Damn it, Weasel, now I hate it when you get excited. Your commentary sucks. Even when you're not excited, your commentary sucks. Just trying to keep up with the action. And Riley, split-legged moonsault. Riley's all on her own. Here's the cover. Will that be it? And that is it. We have new tag team champions. The Glow Girls have done it. 6 months in the waiting. Technically it's 5 months, but still, either way, it doesn't matter. The council is defeated, even with the deck stacked against them. The Glow Girls become the new tag team champions. Let's see Kitty or Stephanie argue their way out of this one. And you know it's going to happen. You know it's coming. But in this moment, we have champions, new champions. The Glow Girls are victorious. Zoeey on the outside recovering, keeping a vigil over Stephanie and Kitty. Well, Etsuko is ready for her second opportunity here for the Hellcat Championship. She made it to the finals of the Bikini Party Summer, almost claiming the Hellcat Championship in the name of her goddess Anya. See, still the property stamp on her stomach. Etsuko, the first member of the harem to compete here in West Up Wrestling. Her tag team champion, but then again, that title was held by all members of the harem. Anya included, of course. You should not forget about that. Indeed, Anya counting herself a tag team champion, just as Anya counting herself as the Divas champion, the current reigning Divas champion. A title that was won by Emily and Honey. Speaking of Emily, she was supposed to be allowed out of the harem by this point, but unfortunately, due to the fact that she is a co-champion, the title is basically holding her within the harem's grasp. Busty Buffy St.Claire coming back out. We haven't seen her since that bunny hop to the face. And sure enough, she's got some facial protection now. Well, this just makes her look a little more crazed, of course. Saw her partner Tina Molina just a couple weeks ago taking out Riley Everett in a very one-sided matchup. I'm sure Busty is proud of that. Hopefully she is. They don't really seem like the sort of team that lifts each other up in that sort of way. Another way, Busty is here, challenging once more for the Hellcat Championship. She was taken out early in her quarterfinals match with Kimberly. Busty claiming that she just wasn't ready at the time. Well, there won't be any excuses here in this three-way dance. Those wondering, the three-way dance, a hardcore matchup, but in an elimination triple threat situation as well. So when one individual gets pinned, that is not the end of this matchup. It will continue until we are down to just one person. And that person being the winner and Hellcat champion. A surprise victor of the Bikini Party Summer event just a month ago. I don't think anyone expected Kimberly to win. Exactly. Kimberly was just one of those, names that was just supposed to fill up the tournament. Well, I think she's going to prove here tonight she was just not a name. She was destined to become Hellcat champion. And you see, it does say women's, it is the Hellcat Championship. Somehow glued to the referee's palms. Very nice, very nice. Gotta wonder what sort of substance that is. I'm sure you can ask Kimberly, and here we go. Three-way dance underway. And Etsuko getting in some heavy kicks. Kimberly keeping herself out of this one for now until Etsuko comes over towards her. And backdrop from Kimberly to Etsuko. And hard kick to the back of the head as Busty rolls to the outside, regain her bearings. And now Busty just trying to show off that it meant nothing. Etsuko following Kimberly to the outside. Not only is this a no disqualification matchup or elimination matchup, it is an anywhere's fall matchup. So a true testament to the Hellcat division. Busty taking down Etsuko, just slamming her head into the canvas. Kimberly now joining in. And the referee just decides to follow her. I think the referee has like a love affair with Kimberly. He's just basically following the champion. And face crusher from Busty, of course. Busty would know all about that. Taking the bunny hop straight to the face a few weeks ago. Double team maneuver from Etsuko and Kimberly. No love lost towards Busty. I don't think anybody really likes Busty. Busty, the bully of the VixXxen roster, has never really earned anything for herself. Has always just talked her way into things. Talked her way into the Hellcat tournament. Talked her way into fighting Krystal Weisz. Talked her way into fighting for the VixXxen's championship. And talked her way into fighting for the women's championship at WrestleMania. Now Busty, shot to the back of the neck and a backdrop for good measure. Just taunting Etsuko. I don't know where Busty gets off making such taunts. And another backdrop to Kimberly. Etsuko well in charge of this one. Would you call Etsuko a mindless doll or a mindless drone? I would call Etsuko a solid competitor. Well, I'm just wondering, like, what do you think Anya considers her? And scoop slam to Busty. I think Anya considers her a valued asset for the harem. What the hell, Kimberly? You don't kick a woman when she's down. So we're managing to interrupt that one. I don't know why. Submissions would benefit her. As again, this is just a three-way dance, elimination style. Straight uppercut to Busty, sends her into the ropes. No, down. You leave her face alone. And snap suplex from Busty to Etsuko. Busty had something in mind, but Kimberly stopping that from happening, and a hard kick to the face of Etsuko. And Etsuko may be the first one eliminated here, but manages to kick out. Etsuko takes that kick and comes right at Busty. Tries for a scoop slam and neckbreaker counter. And Busty getting right into the face of Kimberly, and Kimberly ready to take her down. And a straight kick to the sternum. And is Busty the first one eliminated here? Of course not. Surprised that all you're doing is just cheering her on. You're not saying that she's going to win. Not so confident in your predictions there, JoJo. I have good faith that Busty will do far better than these other two competitors. Yeah, that's what I thought. Etsuko sitting to the far corner. Kimberly stalking her way towards her, but taken down from Etsuko, who takes a shot at her arm as Busty lies on the outside. Her only defense. And Mitzusaka driver. Etsuko going for the cover. 2. And Kimberly almost eliminated. We're almost to a situation where we would have a guaranteed new champion. Etsuko now focusing in on Busty. Now just stomping away. Where's Etsuko going? Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Etsuko having some kind of attack, and bunny hop straight onto the chest. Don't pop him! She spent a lot on that one. Busty with a quick cover here, kicking Etsuko away. Busty was having some kind of PTSD seeing Etsuko coming down with a bunny hop. With a hefty shot to the back of the head. Here's the next cover, in just a 1 count this time. And in comes Kimberly. To the face. And a hefty shot from Kimberly. And Etsuko going for the cover here. And Kimberly just standing back. And indeed, Kimberly, with Kimberly's help, Busty is the first one eliminated. What the hell? Busty was supposed to win this whole thing. Start a petition, Busty. I'm pretty sure that's the next stage that she's going to be going for. So expect that, ladies and gentlemen. So they're bringing Kimberly up step by step. And Kimberly fighting back. And knee to the gut. Double kick from Etsuko. Etsuko just one pinfall away from becoming the Hellcat champion. You see Busty storming her way to the back, just completely ignoring the match. And Etsuko whipping Kimberly into the far corner. Kick to the gut. So I suppose you're going to be silent for the rest of this one, JoJo? No, I'm going to wait until Etsuko gets eliminated herself. Well, it's not really elimination now. Now it's one more fall to a finish. It's either going to be Etsuko bringing home a second prize that Anya can claim, or Kimberly retaining and following the Mitzusaka driver. That one answered, or that question could be answered. Here's the pinfall. 2, and just a 2 count. Etsuko gonna have to do a lot more than that. Where is Anya, by the way? Where's the rest of the harem? Sure, they're in the back, watching anxiously, prepping up a celebratory party for their fellow haremette. Etsuko with a snapmare, and now legs locked around the neck. And Kimberly managing to dodge out of that one. Does she have in mind here? Power bomb. And running power bomb into the turnbuckle. But Etsuko manages to fight back. All she has to do is just think of her goddess, and she can just do anything. I'm sure that's the one thought in her mind, is managing to see her goddess smile. And Kimberly trying for a big boot, misses out on that. Etsuko propped up to the top rope. This does not bode well for the Oni of the harem. Top rope superplex. And here's the cover. This could be over. 2, and not quite yet. Etsuko kicking out with some authority. Low drop kick. Staggers Kimberly, who fires back with the knee. And just knocks out Etsuko with a straight shot to the jaw. Sudden shot. And the count, and again, Etsuko kicking out. This one going back and forth. Surprisingly, no weapons, just a fierce fighting style of both these VixXxens. Down over the middle rope, and Kimberly driving the knee to the shoulder. Once again, there we go. Kimberly missed on the first one, and a running kick to the sternum. Sorry, Etsuko. It looks like your time is over. But no, Etsuko manages to kick out again, but Kimberly seems to have had it figured out. Not going to let herself get distracted. They're going to take out the knees and do what she can to get Etsuko down and staying down. Weaken the knees so she can't kick out. Weaken the arms so she can't get her shoulder up. But Etsuko tries for a German. Kimberly rolling through and a straight chop knocking Etsuko down. Kimberly taking a moment now, just waiting. Another kick to the back of the knee. Another running kick to the jaw this time. Is that going to be it? Kimberly, will she retain? Here's the count. 2. And yes, Kimberly retains the Hellcat Championship. What a 3-way dance between these three hard-hitting individuals. Etsuko with plenty of opportunities, but Kimberly too strong for her in this night. Unfortunately, Busty was not able to get much of, well, anything really, aside from a few hits herself, being the first one eliminated. And Kimberly retaining the championship, the Hellcat championship. That's right, Kimberly, steal it away. It's your belt. Be sure to pass by that harem, the changing room. Show it off. Tell them what they will never have. So we go from one hard-hitting contest to perhaps another, because the war of words is over. Zoeey attempting to get physical with Summer following their last altercation a couple weeks back. Got the better of that exchange, but will she do the same here tonight? Well, of course she will. Summer's just weak-willed. She has no initiative, no drive. She's expecting others to do what she can, or do what she should be doing. And Summer back out here, dressed up in her Blink attire. You mean her maid attire? Well, we will be seeing Blink soon enough. This is sort of a pair. It's the individual that Zoeey wanted to face, not the shell that was Summer Holly Madison. She wanted to face Blink, the woman who did become the VixXxen champion. Wanting to fight Summer at her best, and her best is what Summer is going to give her here tonight at Summerslam in the O2 Arena. So what is she, like a kitty cat maid or something? Actually, she's a puppy maid. At least that's what she identifies herself as. How do you identify yourself as a puppy maid? Well, you can ask her and find out. The way the maid apparel is off. We await the arrival of Zoeey Nessy, who made her debut at the Bikini Party Summer. What a night to debut. Well, it was for a good night for her, making it to the semifinals. Turning her attention to Summer just shortly after that. Was on the verge of trying to issue some sort of challenge against Stephanie or Kitty. Instead of getting either of them, it was Zoeey who came out, questioned her initiative and her drive, declared that she was just not who she used to be. And Zoeey here to basically push her to that level. This has makings of a hefty physical contest here. Well, no handshake between these two. Summer utilizing her speed, gets Zoeey up. And Zoeey or Summer going to try and put this one away quickly. Honestly, it is nice to see the Blink apparel and trying for a Hurricane Rana countered out there. As we haven't seen the Blink, at least in a competitive situation, for over a year now. Knee in the gut, and Summer shoved right back down. Texas clover relief, but Summer comes back with a low drop kick. And again, Summer countering out. I'm thinking that Zoeey may have tried to put in a bit too, or ask for a bit too much here. Indeed, I don't think that she expected Summer to put in so much effort. But now Zoeey fighting back with a spinning back elbow, but Summer not saying die. Standing shooting star press, heading up to the middle rope. Senton connects on the shoulder into the ropes and his running knee straight to the face and catches Zoeey, who tries for a clothesline. And Summer is certainly feeling it. I think Summer feels energized being back in her Blink apparel. Having re-dyed her hair, even drawing a little star. But she misses out on that. Total excitement, but still misses out on that too. Just try something else. And indeed, a standing Hurricane Rana taking Zoeey down, and a standing moonsault as well, and just forces her back down for the cover. 2, and just a 2 count. And again, you've said it before, JoJo, I don't think Zoeey knows quite what she bargained for here. Takes Summer down with a bulldog. Summer comes running back in. Inverted power slam. So you're going to try to take advantage here. No, misses out on the knee drop. Summer misses on the forearm strike. Straight across the ring, and in comes Zoeey. Right there, it just looked like Nessy was just sort of taunting and toying with Summer. And Summer, back heel kick, connects to the top of Zoeey's head. And Zoeey, with a Hurricane Rana of her own, takes Summer down. Come on, Zoeey. You're the one who called for this matchup. You're the one who came out here telling Summer that she's weak. Although she wasn't saying that she was weak. Just weak-willed. As well, she was highly praising. And Twisted Splash connects. And that could be all of it. Here's the cover. 2. And indeed, that is it. Summer, Holly Madison, victorious here. Hopefully this is not the last we will be seeing of Blink. This is not just a little crack in the shell that Summer feels that she is stuck inside of. A swift victory like this over Zoeey Nessy would definitely help out with her, well, her belief in herself, as it were. A heel kick, and then this, the Twisted Splash. She managed to put Zoeey down, and now Summer victorious. She's still in her retribution arc, her redemption story. Or does she feel for? And this will be a personal situation here. Dexter Spectacular and Jamie Hill set to vent out their frustrations. Frustrations that have been growing for months, at the very least since December. So basically what we're seeing here is the end of Spectational. We're not seeing the end of it. Both competitors have decreed that this is not anything that would split them apart. Instead, it is just the two of them working things out. It all started with Jamie Hill attacking Dexter from behind, but you can say that it got started long before then due to Dexter's growing attitude issues in tag team matches, including the Dusty Rhodes Classic, where they took on the New Day. I see. Blame Dexter. It's Jamie who couldn't stand it. Jamie who couldn't just take Dexter aside and talk to the man. I'm pretty sure he did talk to him quite a few times about his issues. But rather than work on them, Dexter just let them mount up. Basically putting it to a situation where Jamie felt he had no choice but to just act. Not long after, in fact not long ago, Jamie Hill coming down to take on Colin Styles, but was attacked from behind by Dexter Spectacular, getting a bit of retribution on that front. And here we are, collar elbow tie up in the middle of the ring. Hopefully this remains like a respectful contest between these two tag team partners. Former tag team champions. As well, you should count on that. And running elbow. Dexter heading up to the top. Hip swivel and splash. But he caught the ropes. You think that's going to do any good? Dexter missing on that elbow drop, but still managing to keep hold of the momentum. Jamie over the top rope and sent to the outside. This is where we find out whether or not things become respectful. And Jamie being tossed to the ramp. Yeah, is that respectful enough for you? And Jamie DDT spiking Dexter's head. And this is not an Anywhere Falls contest. You hear the referee making the count. Just hoping that both members won't find themselves counted out. Referee already up to 7. We could see a count out. Referee up to 8. And 9. And Dexter's just hanging out in the corner. And Dexter Spectacular taking a count-out victory here. Does this mean that their issues are over? Kind of a, well, lackluster finish this situation. Oh, you know it's over. This problem is done. They said that they're just going to work things out. Dexter Spectacular victorious here. Congrats to the better member of Spectational. We will certainly see in the weeks to come. And you're right, hopefully things are finished between these two and we can get back to some Spectational action. So finally, we will see these two competitors facing off in a sanctioned matchup. It's the rubber match of sorts, if you want to count the unsanctioned encounter back at No Mercy. Ranger defeating Blithe Omega in the finals of the Land of Giants tournament. Hey Alexis, you may not want to stand there. And then Blithe Omega knocking out Ranger in that unsanctioned battle just a month ago at No Mercy. And these two individuals set to go one-on-one once again. Alexis King, no worse for wear. Stand right by the pyro. Tough woman. She's the one who made this matchup possible. The manager, the valet, the agent, the mouthpiece, whatever you want to call her, standing in the corner of Blithe Omega. You don't see it often, but definitely we'll be seeing it here tonight. Blithe Omega goes one-on-one with Ranger. And this one may end quick. It may end with both men bludgeoning each other worse than Stone Cold and Number Guy earlier tonight. Certainly find out as Ranger now makes his way to the ring. Ranger was a favorite to win the King of the Ring tournament, becoming the new Universal Champion. Was assaulted before the tournament. And we found out that the individual who did the deed, Blithe Omega. The only thing we don't know is why. Is Blithe Omega that incensed about how the Land of Giants tournament went? Blithe Omega wasn't even involved in the King of the Ring. It's not like he was just trying to take out Ranger to increase his odds. Maybe Blithe Omega just doesn't like Ranger. Well, here we go. The two behemoths locking up once more. And it's Blithe from behind with a German suplex, taking Ranger down. As you said, this one could end quickly. Even quicker than that count-out victory earlier. You know, I heard Dexter actually extended a handshake to Jamie, and Jamie accepted it. I got the same report, but from my hearing of it, Jamie was a bit hesitant to accept that handshake. Ranger battling back, stiff shot to the face, and now pulling Blithe Omega in for a clothesline. This is King standing on the outside watching this one play out. And back body drop to Ranger, and Blithe Omega keeping up the assault, kicking out on Ranger's back. Over the top rope goes Ranger, and Ranger belly to belly back right into it. Just a one count there for Blithe Omega, the living end. Just a year ago, that Blithe Omega was facing off against Craig Stevens in his debut matchup. A match that lasted over 20 minutes. Blithe Omega ultimately coming out victorious, but it was the turning point for Craig Stevens, who would go on to win the World Heavyweight title, and then ultimately the Universal Championship. Now set to face off for that very title in just a few moments' time. Omega being brought up, and Ranger powerbombing Blithe Omega down as Alexis King watches on in shock. You don't do that in front of her. That's our client. And another power bomb. Ranger this time utilizing his power. Blithe Omega showing some of his own, managing to kick Ranger away, going for a scoop slam, but Ranger with a neck breaker from behind. Ranger not quite finished here, gonna keep the assault going, and is this time for the Supernova? And there we see it, Supernova and Alexis King, and Blithe Omega just right back to his feet. Grip on the shoulders. He's almost thinking Judgment Day. Ranger with a stiff shot to the side of the head. Now going for the cover. Ranger putting in some torque on the side of Blithe Omega's head. His head, neck, shoulder. And Ranger, is it jackhammer time? One arm, jackhammer. Even the referee is in disbelief of Ranger's strength. And here's the cover, just a 2 count. Keep fighting, Ranger. You're only delaying the inevitable. Blithe Omega is the living end. And he's your living end. So once he gets a hold of you, then that is it. And Blithe Omega, poised and ready, up on the shoulders. And Judgment Day connects. And straight to a cover. Is this going to be it? 2. And no, Ranger at the last second with the shoulder up. Ranger, the man who took 3 F5s and kept going. It's going to take more than a single Judgment Day to take him down. He's not Stan Stevens. And the Stan Stevens bashing continues, huh? Stan Stevens is a man's man. Blithe Omega just got lucky. Stan Stevens didn't want to obliterate the universe with his capabilities and raw power, so he took an early loss. He felt that Blithe Omega needed a W. Any other reasons you're going to give for Stan Stevens losing to Blithe Omega in 15 seconds? The Ranger pulling him in. Could it be another Supernova? Another Supernova. This time followed up with an immediate cover. 2, and just a 2 count for Ranger. Still an impressive display. Blithe Omega brought up, and Ranger setting up for another jackhammer. Connects. Another quick cover. 2, and again Blithe Omega kicking out, and Ranger in disbelief. That's 2 jackhammers, 2 Supernovas. These men are ungodly. Ranger hitting the ropes, comes back, attempting a double axe handle, and Blithe Omega with a clothesline out of nowhere, taking Ranger down, and that has got to be it. Why do you keep saying that? You know it's not going to be it. One of these times I'm going to be right. Blithe Omega bringing Ranger up. And German suplex. Another German. And 3 German suplexes in a row. A hefty knee to the face as Alexis watches on. Catching hold of Ranger's foot and leg locked in. Ranger fighting back, kicking out the shoulder and going for a quick cover. Call this the recovery cover. Just something to get the bearings back into place. Double axe handle to the shoulder and a clothesline to the back of the head. Blithe Omega worn out. Quick cover here. 2, and just a shoulder up for Ranger. Both these men are worn out. That's why Blithe Omega has to end things quickly, and he's going to end up here with a Judgment Day. But no, Ranger good kicks his way out. Reverse DDT brings up Blithe Omega. And is it time? Third Supernova. Indeed. There you go, referee. There's your Christmas present. Blithe managing to counter back out, but Ranger, stiff shot to the face. And Ranger kicking Blithe Omega away, but takes the hit there. And another German suplex takes Ranger down. Blithe Omega with the cover. Here's the count. And again, another 2 count. Ranger steadily getting to his feet. Up on the shoulders. There's no kicking out of this one. And a Judgment Day. Straight into a cover. That has got to be it. But no, it's not. Ranger somehow, some way finds the will to kick out. Damn it, Ranger certainly likes punishment. He's going to get it if he keeps fighting Blithe Omega. And Blithe Omega taking Ranger down, gut-wrench suplex. And just further opening up Ranger. See the blood on his face. And yet the sunglasses somehow still remain on. Ranger has been competing with those sunglasses for close to a decade now, and they've never come off once. And Blithe Omega with more German suplexes. And another one. And one more for good measure. Blithe Omega going straight for the cover. Will that be it? And no. And Blithe Omega showing emotion. Yelling at the referee. Ranger steadily getting to his feet. Up on the shoulders again. And a third Judgment Day. That has got to be it. Stay down, Ranger. Stay down. You're down. You're out. You're finished. No, he's not. Ranger is not finished. He is up. The shoulder has been shot up. And Blithe Omega gonna keep the assault, but Ranger steadily turning things over. Catching Blithe Omega and slamming him down. With the power driver, and there we go. And Ranger bringing Blithe Omega up, Blithe countering back, shot to the ribs, and another shot to the ribs. Snapmare nearly knocking the referee over. Ranger's not going to take this lying down. I mean, they're sitting down. Either way. Ranger sent into the corner. In comes Blithe Omega. The Ranger fighting back. Trying for a DDT, but a back body drop. And more German suplexes from Blithe Omega. Another German suplex. And another one. And I think Ranger's head collided with the bottom turnbuckle. So you're saying that's gonna be it? This could be it. Ranger could be out cold. Or not. Ranger again kicking out, but you know it's followed up. You know it's gonna be a fourth Judgment Day. Ranger brought up to the shoulders, and another Judgment Day. Judgment Day number 4. Quickly into the cover. That is definitely it. Ranger is out, and indeed, 4 Judgment Days to put Ranger away, but Blithe Omega ultimately victorious here tonight in London, England. What a matchup. We knew this one was going to be physical. We said it at the start. This one was either going to be quick or intense, and definitely intense. Ranger took everything that Blithe Omega was willing to dish out. Blithe Omega took everything that Ranger could dish out. But in the end, Blithe Omega, the living end, is victorious once again at SummerSlam. So does this put their record at 1-1 or 1-2? We'll find out soon enough, ladies and gentlemen, or this been the end of things. Well, we heard from the ghost of What's Up Wrestling that this is be the Universal Championship matchup. Well, I would argue that she is not a ghost. We do see her sitting at ringside from time to time, but she did sort of just disappear there, didn't she? Here we go. Craig Stevens finally getting his rematch shot. There will be no Money in the Bank interference from this one. Craig Stevens can win here tonight with Maple by his side. He will leave with the Universal Championship. Of course, he comes here with lots of momentum, losing out to Doink just last week, and then taking a hefty beating from Buddy following that contest and those words of Buddy's. Very clear that he has no intention of giving Craig any chance of victory here tonight. Here we go. The Universal Champion making his way to the ring. King of the ring. Man who went through 4 other individuals, or 3 other individuals, I'm sorry, in order to become the Universal Champion. Was there 8 people? True, but he only had to fight 3 of them. So, you know. What the hell is he doing? Making his way to the ring. Taking in the adulation of the crowd. Celebrating the fact that he is champion. He is Universal Champion. He is King of the Ring. He has achieved his dream, his goal. No, I mean, why the hell is he wearing that title belt over his coat? Well, I don't know. I mean, just like with everyone else, it's just go and ask, make sure that they're okay. Vacated following Money in the Bank. Due part to the fact that Craig Stevens had won, was cashed in on by Seth Rollins, who stole the title, but as a non-active competitor here, What's Up Wrestling, it allowed Money to become Universal Champion after losing the World Heavyweight title just the week before at Money in the Bank. He's had issues with several other superstars in the past, namely Ranger. First blood match, so how he feels about the previous match we just saw. There we go. The Universal title will be on the line here. Great to see Maple back in Craig Stevens' corner. Yeah, I think so too. Well, I just think it's more of a confidence thing. That Maple feels confident enough to be out here again. Especially after that whole issue with Roger Desmond. Craig Stevens giving the wild eye. So we certainly watched 5-0 goes west. Will it have worked? The Universal Champion. His first title defense since King of the Ring. How will he fare against the former Universal Champion, against the man who views himself as destined to win this title? Stevens is ready. Buddy is ready. And here's the bell. Both men meeting middle of the ring. And his buddy with a straight shot. Pulling Craig Stevens right into a shoulder block. This one's already over. Buddy's just toying with him now. Maybe getting a few shots in there, but Craig Stevens managing to get Buddy up and over. The guy in the low dropkick sends Buddy into the corner, going right for the ribs, and again kicking out against him in a dropkick to the face. Into the ropes goes Buddy, and right into another dropkick from the challenger for the Universal Championship. And another hefty power slam there by Buddy, taking Craig Stevens down. Poor Maple having to cringe watching that happen. You know, I like it when she pats her little paws together. There we go. There you go, Maple. Well, let's try and focus on the matchup here. Craig Stevens attempting a neck breaker, but Buddy managing to kick away, and pump handles toss. Knocking Craig back down as Buddy just manhandles the challenger. And several shots to the face. As I said, Craig Stevens, you've already lost. You lost the minute you decided to challenge Buddy. Craig Stevens calling on Buddy to get back up. Not just watching, perhaps waiting for the opportunity. And there we go, sending Buddy to the outside. But a counter will certainly favor the champion here. Brought up. Stiff shot to the back of the head. Towards the ring. And Buddy having no sense of honor here, sending Craig right into the ring post. We're up to a count of 5. His buddy just stomps away at Craig. He sends him back into the ring. Buddy finding his corner. Looks like he was waiting for his spear, but Craig Stevens managed to get to his feet and slams Buddy's face right down to the canvas. Alright, Craig, that's enough. That's enough. You can stop now. And 10 elbow drops to the chest. And Craig Stevens pumping himself back up. And Craig Stevens feeling it. Heavy shots to the head, and Craig Stevens special. Craig Stevens could be taking the Universal title on a shock win too, but not quite yet. The shoulder is up. Shoulder goes Craig Stevens, and Buddy doesn't have the greatest track record with the spears, but he gets it this time. Craig Stevens felt the spear just last week. What are you saying here, Craig? Is your build of a tolerance or something? You may have. And Craig Stevens again sending Buddy to the outside, this time with a clothesline, showing no fear, gonna meet him outside. We're up to 2 already. Buddy just falling right back. Craig Stevens again, elbow to the inside knee. Come on, man, what happened to honor? Buddy's sending Craig Stevens into the barricade. And again. Just as before, Buddy sending Craig back into the ring. Buddy poised, ready. Craig Stevens turning around, straight into him. Spear, another spear. And that could be it. Buddy could find himself retaining here already. Maple doing what she can, but it's not enough. Your winner here tonight is Buddy. Buddy retaining the title. Craig Stevens doing what he could, but in the end was unable to get the victory here. Buddy coming in too hard, too fast. Spears. Here's the second spear. Another spear. And Buddy victorious, retaining the Universal Championship. Losers. Leave them all alone, I guess. We don't need all that dead weight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Summerslam, the O2 Arena in London, and we thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next time for more West Up Wrestling action and for the Friday the 13th event. For Wally Weasel and JoJo, good night.